tell the truth. This is what it is.
I'll be sure the biological father of Diddy's adopted son Quincy recently accused Diddy of doing something extremely shady. He also announced that the truth about the mysterious incident will be exposed very soon. So what really happened and what kind of bombshell is about to be revealed? The details surrounding all of the hints and allegations that Al B. Sure has made about Diddy are absolutely shocking, so let's not waste any more time. Before we get into everything, it might be helpful to catch up on some background info first. Al B. Sure, whose real name is Albert Joseph Brown III, had a son with the late Kim Porter in 1991 named Quincy Brown. People magazine reported that a few years after Quincy was born, Kim started dating Diddy. Eventually, Kim and Diddy welcomed 3 biological kids together, and Diddy ended up adopting Quincy. But sadly, in November 2018, Kim unexpectedly passed away at just 47 years old. According to TMZ, Al recently attended the Equal Justice Now Awards in Los Angeles. During a speech he gave at the event, he announced that a project about his life story was in the works, but what he said next was incredibly cryptic. Al claimed that once the project is released, the world will finally learn how he ended up in a coma in 2022. But then he seemingly took a jab at Diddy. Al told the audience that they were going to have to call Homeland Security as soon as they heard the truth behind his health scare. Just a few days before the event, Diddy's homes in Los Angeles and Miami were raided by federal agents from Homeland Security. But what exactly did that have to do with Al's medical ordeal, especially when it happened 2 years ago? In case you need a refresher, in July 2022, Al suddenly got sick and fell into a coma that lasted for nearly 3 months. Since then, he's spoken out about the terrifying situation, although he's never explained what caused it. But when TMZ caught up with Al after his speech, what he said about the link between Diddy and how he ended up in a coma was truly unbelievable. Al claimed that his upcoming project about his life story would get into the cause of the coma. But even though he also didn't want to say much about Diddy, he did talk about the cryptic post he had made on Instagram one day earlier and where things stood with Quincy. The day before, Al had shared an Instagram post that included an intriguing message meant for his son. In the caption, he wrote that he loved Quincy and told him to come home. Al added that his son would be safe there and his door would be wide open. Although it's easy to understand why he wanted Quincy to get away from Diddy, his post was still a little bit odd. Al was a pretty absent father for much of his son's life, and Quincy even called him out on it publicly. But Al told TMZ that lately, they've been talking to each other on the phone more frequently, working on building their bond. Interestingly, he also mentioned that he was happy that Quincy wasn't at either of Diddy's properties when the raids took place. But why was Al making so many cryptic remarks and throwing shade at Diddy without explaining anything? It turns out that he's actually been dropping accusatory hints about Diddy's scary, disturbing behavior for a seriously long time. According to The Root, Al posted a puzzling message to his Instagram story last November. He claimed that he had been hopeful that somebody's grimy ways would dissipate with age, but added that the unnamed person was secretly part of the shenanigans. At the time, Diddy was facing several disturbing new allegations, and just a few days earlier, he and Cassie had reached a settlement in the lawsuit she had filed against him. So based on the timing and the claims, it seemed like Al's message had obviously been referencing Diddy. Believe it or not, Al denied that he had been taking a dig at Diddy with his message. That same day, he claimed that he hadn't been talking about the recent allegations and had no comment on anyone's court case. That was honestly kind of surprising considering Al had previously raised a lot of suspicions on his Instagram. A few years ago, he seemingly suggested that Diddy might have possibly known more about Kim's mysterious passing than anyone could have ever expected. According to Radar Online, in July 2020, Al made a couple of shocking claims in a since deleted Instagram post. Right at the start of the post caption, he made it clear that he strongly believed that somebody had purposely ended Kim's life. Al also revealed that when he learned about Kim's passing, he hadn't been expecting the news at all. He said that at the exact moment he found out, it felt like his soul had abruptly left his body. But what he wrote next was absolutely unreal. Al claimed that he was certain Kim hadn't suddenly passed away at 47 years old due to the official causes that had been reported in the news. The Los Angeles County Medical Examiner had listed pneumonia and natural causes as the reasons for Kim's passing. But then Al warned his followers that what he was about to expose next was going to get him in trouble. Al explained that he and Kim had just celebrated their son Quincy's new deal and his Christmas special with Netflix. He added that everything seemed fine, and she had been laughing at his alleged exchange with Diddy. Al stressed that Kim was in fantastic health right before she passed away. When Vlad TV published an article about Al's startling post, another intriguing detail was mentioned. Apparently, producer Easy Mo B had left a comment saying that he was sending prayers to Al. But when Al replied, he dropped another hint that was unbelievably cryptic. Al's response to Easy Mo B was, "We good, and we will get through this as well. If not, we know who and why." It seemed pretty obvious that he believed that someone in particular had been behind Kim's passing, and they could potentially go after him next for exposing their secret. Shortly after Al made the post, he ended up deleting it, but just 1 week later, he set the record straight about why he had chosen to completely remove it from his Instagram account. According to a celebrity news blog, Rhymes with Snitch, Al had been asked by someone to delete the claims he had made about Kim's passing for a devastating reason. In yet another Instagram post, Al explained that after he spoke out about what he really believed had happened to Kim, Quincy reached out to him. He revealed that during a conversation, he learned that the pain his son was already feeling from losing his mom had been made worse by his bold public claim. Because Al didn't want to cause any other emotional damage to Quincy, he decided to delete the post. However, Al mentioned that he still firmly believed that Kim's sudden passing made no sense. And in November 2021, he shared another bizarre Instagram post about it. According to the Hot New Hip Hop, he said that before Kim passed away, she had confided in him about a situation that was seriously insane. Al claimed that Kim had been running either from someone or something that was apparently very dangerous. What's really concerning is that at the time, she was rumored to have been writing a tell-all book that would have exposed unbelievable details about Diddy. But what Al said next in his post was absolutely crazy. Al added that after Kim talked to him about whatever it was that she was running from, he told her that she needed to call the FBI. Unfortunately, it wasn't long after the conversation that she tragically passed away. It seems extremely weird that about 6 months after that post, Al almost lost his life when he mysteriously fell into a coma for months. And after he woke up, he didn't mention strange details surrounding Kim's passing again until his recent speech, when he also made a cryptic comment about Diddy. It'll be interesting to see what Al reveals about the alleged connection between Diddy and the cause of his coma. Hopefully, he also gives more insight into what Kim was allegedly running from before she passed away. But I guess we'll just have to wait and see until the project about Al's life story is released. Anyway, now that we've gone into the bizarre accusations that Al seemed to make about Diddy recently, I want to know what your thoughts are. Do you think Al will actually reveal a connection between the cause of his coma and Diddy? What are your thoughts on his claims about Kim's sudden passing being suspicious? Let me know in the comments below.